No!
The GOAT debate has turned into community college. I want you all to look at this man's face, study it, ponder upon it, burn it into your skulls, Photoshop it if necessary. I will put into words what his expression represents. This is the face of a man who didn't have a date to prom, so he had to take his cousin. Does it count as a date? Scientists at Down Bad University say yes, on a technicality. But deep down in Kevin Durant's Jack Skellington frame, where his heart resides, he knows it doesn't. The validity of the ring isn't in question, but rather its importance. When KG got his elusive ring, he screamed to the high heavens, anything is possible. He was elated. When Giannis got his, he almost lost an antler. He was so excited. Even Kawhi, with buffering emotions, managed to pull out a smile. Now look at KD. Something in the way. Even LeBron celebrated winning that ring pop. Do you know why Curry cried? It wasn't because this was his fourth. It's because this one in question meant so much more than the other three. Why? Because for so long he's had to hear you wouldn't have gotten that first ring if Kevin Love and Kyrie weren't injured, and you didn't even win Finals MVP because you're not that guy.
If he didn't have Durant, they would have never won again.
The ring and the journey go hand in hand. The ring can exist in a vacuum. But if on your journey to achieve such ring, if all you did was make diabolically cringe TikToks and watch yellow, hedonistic, heathen, subhuman vermin IRL kick streamers, you may find yourself looking in the mirror one day and your expression is similar to this. Not saying Kevin Durant did any of those diabolical things, but if you had asked fans in 2016 how they felt when he went to the Warriors, at the time they felt as if he had. And none of those things I mentioned existed.
The news again coming in moments ago, Kevin Durant heading to the Golden State Warriors. How are you viewing this move from Durant?
Well, I'm viewing it as the weakest move I've ever seen from a superstar.
Did you do it?
Yes.
What did it cost?
Everything.
Do you know why the caged Durant sings? Because he is unfulfilled, so he must now sing songs of buyer's remorse.
As the best player and being a leader that all goes with that, he's been an abject failure. I mean, every time he's been like the guy who has to be the leader and the best player, he has not had success.
It's true.
And that's what us old guys think about him until he becomes the leader and best player on a championship team, where he has to deal with all the responsibility, all the media stuff that goes with it, expectations. So we're always going to hold that against him. But, man, he just seems like a miserable person, man. I call him Mr. Miserable. He's never going to be happy.
What does Kevin Durant want, you ask? Well, you saw what he said. He wants to be part of the GOAT conversation, but deeper than that, underneath the surface, he wants to be loved and appreciated. And a lot of times that means more than a ring. In Oklahoma City, they loved him, but not as much as Westbrook. In Golden State, they liked him, they appreciated him, but they love Curry. In Brooklyn, he wasn't there long enough to be cared about. And in Phoenix, it goes without saying, Devin Booker is their guy.
Hey, bro, we're not doubling an open gym, bro. Yeah, we are. I get that shit all season, bro. Come on, man. Let's work on our game, bro. Yeah, we are.
I'm up to my ears in softness.
It isn't just unique to Durant. They loved Dwayne Wade far more than they would ever love LeBron in Miami. And he could have won 3 rings in a row in LA and they'd never love him like they loved Kobe. Cleveland is where all the love is for him. Although when Jordan came out there, they cheered louder for him. I would have none of that if I was LeBron. I bet you he thought about trading the entire audience. Once KD made the move to Golden State, he was already insecure, but he's grown only more insecure in the years following. He is now in the later stages of his career, and only now does he realize his career isn't careering as much as he would like to be compared to those whose did. It wasn't until Jordan won his 3rd championship, not his first, not his second, his 3rd, that he said he could then consider himself in the same realm as that of a Larry Bird and a Magic Johnson. And one of the primary motivations for his 6th and final ring was that Magic had never gotten 6. He wanted to do one better than him. Those are the levels of lofty expectations that we used to have. But nowadays, joining an all-time great team that only became more overpowered once you got there, that you yourself couldn't beat, though you had the opportunities to do so, being up 3-1, and winning a championship with them twice, somehow puts you in the GOAT discussion? If a friend of yours goes on a date and you join them, despite them not necessarily requesting that you do, but you just insisting upon tagging along, are you on a date as well? Imagine you win the lottery and the person whom you are dating starts saying, "Hooray, we won the lottery. We're set for the rest of our lives." You look at them like, "Swaggy?" We didn't win anything. I won. And the lottery in question is the Golden State roster at the time. They drafted the greatest shooter of all time, and then quite possibly drafted the second to third greatest shooter of all time in Klay Thompson, got a defensive mule of the year, and went on a run. You had nothing to do with that, KD. They would have been great with or without you, and you can't say that about the other players in the top 10. Spurs needed Duncan. Celtics needed Bird. Bulls needed Jordan. And yes, the Bulls did make it quite far on Jordan's first retirement, but did they win it all? No. The Warriors were in the finals before Kevin Durant, and they were in the finals after Kevin Durant. He is icing and sprinkles on an already made cake. People will eat the cake without the icing, but if you eat pure icing, you're liable to get diabetes. What we need to do is stop lowering the standard for greatness. In terms of skill, Kevin Durant is by far, easily one of the greatest players to ever play, but GOAT debates consist of a lot more than just who's the most skillful and who has the deepest bag. It consists of hardware, consistency, moments, and in all three of those areas, Kevin Durant is sorely lacking. If he goes to the finals this year and wins finals MVP, this narrative can be changed, it can be altered, we can have discussions on it. But until then, no, he stays where he is, outside of the top 10. And if you don't believe this man is insecure, look no further than his burner accounts. People with burner accounts are insecure, I do not care, as well as athletes who argue with YouTubers. I want to thank you all so much for watching and making it this far. Tell me below if there's anything that I've said you find disagreement with, and I would very much like to hear where you guys have KD on your top players of all time. Like the video if you enjoyed and subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you on the next one.